How's it going, guys? It's Berserk here, and just wanted to make a quick video today talking about Trials of Osiris and PvP in Destiny 2. In this video, I want to talk about some tips which could maybe help you play better and also increase your chances of going flawless or just playing better in PvP in general. So the first tip I want to talk about is knowing what you're playing against. Before you load into games of Trials of Osiris especially, I would always recommend checking what your opponents are using. If your opponents are all using long-range weapons, then obviously you would expect them to be sitting further back and just learning and team-shotting with each other. Whereas if you come against a team of maybe, say, 3 hunters using shotguns or fusion rifles, then you would probably expect an aggressive team and they're going to be playing close quarters more than anything. So going into a game kind of expecting what a team may do based on the weapons and loadouts that they're using. This is very important, especially in Trials, because if you go into a game of Trials and you are not paying attention to what they're using, and then you finally figure it out 1 or 2 rounds in, that may have already, ruined the game, and you guys might have already lost because of that, because it took you too long to react to their playstyle and alter your playstyle to suit the game. So this is something very important, and I would always recommend that you guys just spend a moment to see what people are using, because it honestly is super important and it can definitely change the game. Just want to quickly point out as well that some of these things may seem very obvious to most players. There is a lot of players who don't realize these things, and simple things like these can be a difference between winning games and losing games. So I don't mean to sound obvious to some people, but these things really can help others. So this is why I'm stating some of these points. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The second thing I want to say is always be confident in your own ability. If you are not confident in your own ability and you're matching a team and you're playing very scared or passive because you're not confident in winning, then most of the time you will lose. I really do feel like confidence in a PvP setting is one of the most important things. Yes, being confident doesn't mean you're always going to win, but I feel like you will always win more gunfights if you're confident in yourself and your ability on the game. Nobody is going to win every match and nobody's going to win every round. So never go into a game expecting to win everything. So it's just not realistic, and there's always room for improvement for all players. So I just hope that you guys stay confident in yourself and just keep trying, because you will always be able to improve and get better at the game. There's many people that are definitely far better than me on Destiny 2, but I still go into every game trying to be as confident as I possibly can, and I try to improve every time I play Destiny 2. I think there's always room for improvement for every player, no matter how good you are at the game. Never expect improvements to happen overnight. This does take time, but I would love to know how you guys get on with just simply being more confident in your gunfights. It really does make such a difference, and people do not realize this. The third point I would like to make is learning how the map plays in Trials of Osiris. Every map does play differently, and I would not expect instant results when trying to figure out how maps play. So the more you do play the map, the more you will figure out the best way to play it. I would also recommend going into elimination when Trials of Osiris is not actually on, and playing elimination and also trying to get better at the maps, learning the rotations, learning how to play the maps, learning how to play in certain situations. These things do help a lot, so that you're not going into a map blind if you've never played Trials of Osiris before. I would always recommend trying to practice on the maps, try to learn how maps play and how people play on them, as this may help you when you're trying to go flawless for the first time, or if you're just someone who plays casually. Having a good strategy for a map from the start is always helpful, as this can definitely improve your chances of winning, especially against those who do not do that. Every now and then you will play a team that has a really bizarre strategy, and it sometimes works against you. But this is just part of Trials of Osiris. You do play some strange teams every now and then. You do not win them all. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. The next point I do want to make is weapon loadouts which suit yourself. So I don't know if you were around a few weeks ago when main ingredient was given by Xur pretty much to everybody, which was an insane role, which you probably might have seen that actually in PvP if you've been playing it. It's everywhere pretty much. But one thing I do recommend people is playing the meta. If you want a better chance of going flawless, I would always recommend playing the meta. This is obviously playing the weapons that are the best right now. This will obviously increase your chances of going flawless. Right now the weapon meta is pretty much fusion rifles and chaperone, in my personal opinion. Obviously stasis, shatter dive, hunter is also pretty damn broken. So if you do want to increase your chances of going flawless, this is definitely one way to improve that. If you are not good with the weapons, you could always just practice in quick play, survival, or private matches. Or you can just do some Trials of Osiris and practice in Trials of Osiris instead. I know that saying to use Shatter Dive does sound kind of scummy, but it is so good. It is ridiculous, and I know I hate it a lot because I die to it so much. But if you really want to improve your chances of going flawless, then sometimes you've got to use these things, especially against those who people may consider sweats. this will definitely increase your chance of beating them, as anyone can win against anyone, just remember that. The next point I want to make is communication. Communication is definitely one of the most important factors when playing a game, especially in PvP. Telling your teammates who is one shot or who is weak in general, or who you're shooting at, can be such a huge thing. Or calling out where they are on the map, even if it's not even like the greatest call out, just giving a general idea to your teammates where they are and how weak they may be, or what they're doing in general, can be a huge player. I mean, just for example, if you jump out and you see someone sniping or aiming the corner with a sniper, but you don't tell your teammate and your teammate walks around a corner and gets sniped, that could be the round over, it could be the game over, depending on what the score is. So a simple thing like just telling your teammates what is happening, tell them not to push that lane because the guy might be sniping or maybe someone's weak. These things can be the key in winning games and losing games. So always communicate with your teammates, and this will definitely help if your teammates also get on board, as this is honestly one of the most helpful things in PvP. I would seriously recommend that you guys communicate with each other. I know it might sound obvious, but I am sure there is many teams who do not communicate like that. It is very, very helpful. The next point I want to make is never feel discouraged by losing a match. Everybody loses a match. The best players in the game lose games. It is normal to lose. These things do happen. But never be too discouraged by it. The best way to think is just think about how you could have played better, what you could have done that maybe you could have won the match. And just try to learn from it, and just try to improve the next time you play against people. There will be games where you get 5-0. There'll be games I get 5-0'd. These things do happen, and it's honestly just part of the game. Sometimes you just have a bad game, and these things can obviously result in losses. Just never get too frustrated by losses. They'll end up getting in your head, because these things can affect your future matches, and it's honestly just not worth it. Just try to go in with a positive mindset, and try not to worry too much when you're playing the game. And just don't let the results bother you too much. We all lose matches. This is normal. Just try to get on with it, and just try to improve the best you can. Try to learn from your mistakes in the game, and you will improve as a player by doing so. The next point I want to make is how to improve your gameplay. The best way to improve your gameplay, in my own personal opinion, is to play survival, elimination, private matches, and 1v1 private matches. Playing 3v3 or playing a few people in a lobby is a much better way to improve your primary shot, for example, and your gameplay in general, than playing something like Control, where you're going to be in a ridiculous setting where you're playing against a lot of people who are shooting you from everywhere. These sort of settings never happen in 3v3, so I will always recommend 3v3s and sort of low lobbies to try to practice your gameplay. Just play the game normally, try to focus on certain things. So for example, you're trying to improve your primary shot, obviously I would just recommend using primary. I would never try to use a special weapon if you're trying to improve your primary shot, and if you keep practicing, you will always improve your shot, you'll get better at it, and eventually you'll improve, and you'll obviously see the results. I'm going to leave the video there. If there's any further points that you do want to make, or maybe something I've missed out that you're curious about, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section, and I will always read the comments and try to reply the best I can. I do also stream trials a lot on Twitch, so if you have found me via YouTube, then my Twitch link is twitch.tv/Prosperity. I will always try to help people the best I can with their questions. And yeah, I do hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you've enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you can drop a like on the video. Or maybe consider subscribing to the channel for future videos that I'll be releasing. Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and have a good one. I'll see you guys next time.